And Tully?
Yeah. Hold on a second. I do have this one clip you sent me with Adams admitting he's the one who got me clipped. Amazing. I mean, so obviously he's, I guess he's insinuating, as he always has, that he has this in with that guy Joe Armenia, and he can get us clipped. Amazing.
Hey, do y'all ever play the game where you figure out who's been on Clubhouse the longest?
I just sent you another one, Pepe.
All right, here's this next one. Let's see what he has to say.
Should not be tolerated. 100%. That should not be tolerated. But I didn't know that was the case. I thought he got clipped for something he said in the room that had nothing to do with doxing. Oh, he got clipped because he was going on a tirade for the last 5 days about me, my family, my background, everything. You name it, Yoshi. He
went on a tirade about his family. I've only said one thing, and it's that like I said, he used to claim to be Italian. Okay, you gave away you gave away willingly your name and your backstory as Ketchikon, and as JB, you still do this on this app. The only thing I've mentioned is like, why do you claim to be Italian but you don't have an Italian last name? Okay. Let's see what else.
He tried to, but all he really was doing, Yoshi, was regurgitating the same shit that everybody else has said over the last 5 years that I even spoke about. But he's just.
Oh my God! That even he spoke about. Oh my God! Oh my God! In other words, that's the opposite of doxing because we're talking about it on this fucking app. Amazing.
Those polarizing things that people come to the show because they want to get a car crash. Damn it, it don't matter that, he's talking about the family.
Okay, name one fucking relative that, like, $1,000, again, to find the fucking clip of me even mentioning one of your fucking family members. Just one. Right, even said their fucking names, any of their fuking names.
Well,
because it did not happen.
Exactly.
So he's going with the false narrative, and like he always does. He knows I've never talked about, but he knows people are gonna be like, oh, he talked about kids, he talked about families, and it's doxed them. Oh my God. Okay, dude, prove it. You can't prove it because I've never fucking done it.
Right. Yeah, I don't think it should get personal. With that on this app to that extent. Keep it on the information. If you're assaulting somebody in a room based off of something they said to you or said about a topic, that's one thing. But when you take that beyond this digital realm.
All right. And then, here's JB talking about, and it is against the terms of service. And I know I reported him for this, and so did a lot of other people. But here he's talking about the widow of a man that was killed in combat. Here's what he had to say about her. didn't
he said.
Mon. He had this to say about Mon, you know, who I've always done rooms with.
Sino, don't lose your shit. Sino, do not lose your shit. Fair warnings.
Let me give you some clarity. I haven't mentioned Pepe's name in probably almost a week. I know this, but let me finish. Right? I never talk about Mon. Mon's irrelevant. She's an embarrassment to herself. Right? 75 fucking years old. She wants to talk shit. And KJ, I haven't mentioned KD's name in years. As a matter of fact, I specifically reached out to KK's best friend.
Amazing. And I know he said like other things. He said that like Mon is like self-hating black, and I have that one.
Well, let me say something. Thank you for that. He always just stares at Pepe. Mon, and shit. She signs off on this racism. She enables him because she's a black woman that's a self-hating black woman. So it's okay that she sits there with the known racist on the app, anti-Semite, hater. But Mon will sit there and keep with him all fucking day. That dumb bitch. I'm sick of it. You want dogs, me, bro? You know what the funny thing is, Nine?
Yeah, it's really that's funny. I mean, who are you to say like who a self-hating black is? You fucking retard. Especially as somebody who's self-hating what your real ethnicity is, so you would tell people you were Italian. I mean, come on. Really? Sounds like yes, NPD is exactly what it is. This guy is like fucking, and that is not, once again, doxing. That is me giving my personal opinion. He ticks like every fucking trait for NPD. It is bizarre, like that. It would come through like on a social audio app. Usually, you know, people can kind of shield. How do you put it? I guess, you know, mask their symptoms, you know. But this dude cannot do it.
You need to get like I think, you know, I know a lot of people like to undermine each other and give each other diagnoses, and everybody else has like self-diagnose each other. But I think there are people that are chronic issues, right? That are walking around throughout the day, haven't been diagnosed, and have no treatment. And NPD is something that you have to actually treat. You have to make them self-aware and realize that like they cannot just be walking around with this disorder and interfacing reality. They can't interact with people. And unfortunately, I think people are so sick that they don't even realize their own identity. So he needs to go get evaluated himself. He has to.
He says he's volunteered the information on app that he goes to like therapy twice a week. I mean, and his name is Ketchikon, and so that's another app name that is still here. That he goes by. He admits it even on this account that he has, that like he was a con man and he did go to prison, you know, for it. This is something like I just played in the recording. He admits it. And, you know, he does have, you know, you can let him talk about it. I wouldn't say he would give you the most accurate picture of what he was accused of, but
I know.
This is my opinion. But, you know, and then there were a lot of rooms made about him. So like the biggest content creators or people who ran rooms, you know, a few years ago, they would absolutely, he got called out so many times. And you can just look up like Catch a Con and, you know, in the search history for rooms and like Ion, Million Man Marathon, they've all done it. And, you know, these people, I can't verify the authenticity, of course, but a lot of accusations were made against him that, you know, it's pretty bad.
No, he needs to get off his app and really focus on himself and on his disorder. He absolutely has a disorder, and people that have severe disorders like that should not be on an app like this. It's all fun and games in the beginning, but when it's chronic and you can't, you keep repeating the same behavior, you can't control yourself, then you have an underlying issue. Get off the app. Continue with life. Participate with seeking help, and that's it. That's all you can do. I wish him well. I want him to get the best help possible and have
I agree.
a better life.
I mean, this is. You see, like KK used to be friends with them. I used to, be cool with them. But when I used to do my rooms in White America, he would come in and like he was upfront that he got in trouble and all of that stuff. I think he does this because he knows that the information will get around the app. And so he kind of just tries to get it out of the way, which is, I'm not going to fault him for that. But he was always like, polite, I would say charming in a way. And of course he would be like, hey, I'm going to make a room. Do you think you guys would show up? And, I'd be like, yeah, okay, we'll show up. Because, at that time I would draw an audience into his room. Long story short, a couple years later, so October 7th happens, then there's healthy debates. And I don't know how, but he became, somebody made him a moderator in there, and then he didn't allowed to host rooms, and he was at that time, a huge chunk of the, not that it's kind of relevant, a large chunk of the people in healthy debates were Jewish. And, this is where a lot of them went because of, after October 7th, obviously that this was something that was really on their mind. And when I saw him moderate, I saw him be really a big bully. And what I also found really bizarre is that it's almost like he wanted to make his control. He wanted everybody to feel the control that he had. So he would. It's I don't know what it was. It's something like he had to feel like he was in control, and he had a very annoying moderation style where he would. First of all, I would say he love bombs everybody. Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so beautiful. Oh, you're like my sister from another mister. All of his usual bullshit. And then with the bullying part, there was one guy kind of timid sounding, and he made it sounded like JB was done talking. And then, so this guy speaks up, and he's like, whoa, did I sound like I was finished here? And I stuck up for the guy, and was like, dude, yeah, I did. And he's like, oh, you're going to check me in my space, Pepe? And I'm like,